Napoleon Hill, Wisdom to Fall Asleep. 2. Welcome to Sleep Smarter Tonight. What if I told you that your mind never truly sleeps? Even as your body rests, your subconscious is always active, constantly working, constantly building. But the real question is, what is it building for you? Is it creating clarity and purpose, or is it simply replaying yesterday's fears and doubts? Tonight, we take command. We're diving deep into the profound principles of Napoleon Hill's work, transforming your sleep into a powerful period of mental cultivation. For the next hour, you'll be actively reprogramming your mind, planting the seeds of success, discipline, and unshakable faith directly into your subconscious. This is how you don't just sleep smarter, you wake up stronger. Are you falling asleep with anxiety in your chest and confusion in your mind? Wondering why, no matter how hard you try, success remains just out of reach? Are you sick of promising yourself tomorrow will be different, only to wake up the same? Are you sick of the excuses, sick of the doubt, sick of waiting for someone else to tell you you're ready? Good, because this moment, this night, is your turning point. From this night forward, you will not sleep like an ordinary person. You will sleep like someone who knows the truth. Your mind doesn't go to sleep when your body does. Your mind is always active. Even now, as you listen, it's either shaping your destiny or sealing your defeat. There's no pause, no idle, no neutral ground. Your subconscious is always at work. The only question is, what orders are you giving it? You won't stumble into greatness by accident. You won't wake up confident, successful, and disciplined just because you wish for it. No one in history ever has. And yet, most people live as if their thoughts are casual, harmless, wandering, unimportant things. But I say to you now, with all the force of experience and spiritual law, thought is power. Thought is instruction. Thought is the cause of every result. And thought never sleeps. When the body lies still, when the eyes close and the breath slows, your subconscious steps forward. It listens to everything you've planted during the day. And if you've planted nothing but noise, confusion, fear, or doubt, it will grow exactly that. You will become what you permit. You will rise or fall by what you've spoken in silence. So tonight, we reverse that pattern. Tonight, we plant on purpose. And tonight, you will feed your mind like a master, not a drifter. This is not a game, nor is it mere entertainment. This is the process by which men build empires, forge unshakable confidence, and become instruments of definite power in a world full of confusion. You aren't here to be entertained. You're here to be transformed. And this transformation won't come by accident or in a single night. It will come by repetition. Daily, nightly, unwavering repetition of thought, belief, and command. Just as water smooths stone through endless persistence, so too will your new thoughts carve out the person you've chosen to become. Every night you will listen. Every night you will repeat. Every night you will plant. And in the daylight, you will walk taller. You will speak with clarity. You will act with direction, because your mind will no longer be an echo of fear, but a voice of authority. I will guide you through every part of the process. You will learn how to give commands to your subconscious. You will learn how to shape your identity while you sleep. You will learn how to replace fear with faith and confusion with order. You will learn to repeat the truths that build destiny. These next hours are not passive. They are not casual. They are sacred. As you lie back and absorb these teachings, your mind will absorb what your will affirms. Your voice will become your compass, and your belief will become your bridge from this moment to your ideal life. You are not just listening to a voice. You are listening to the future version of yourself who already knows success. You are listening to the identity that is waiting to be built. You are listening to someone who doesn't hope. He decides. So expect no miracles tonight. Expect instruction. Expect a new mental order. Expect a new voice in your own soul, a voice that says, I am the master of my fate. I demand of myself the highest standard. I feed my mind with power, faith, and certainty. I rise, I act, I persist. I do not turn back. Let this be the beginning of the end of doubt. Let this be the end of fear. Let this be the death of indecision and the birth of your definite purpose. Tonight, you become the gardener of your own mind, and I will walk beside you. Let us begin. Your subconscious, the always active assistant. Your subconscious mind never sleeps. It doesn't close its ears when you do. It doesn't rest when your eyes shut. Long after your body has sunk into stillness, your mind continues to take instruction. It listens. It absorbs. It executes, silently, obediently, and without pause. Every person is giving orders, whether they know it or not. They may not speak aloud, but their dominant thoughts speak for them. They whisper fear. They repeat doubt. They replay failure like a broken record, hour after hour, until the mind accepts these patterns as reality and begins to build a life around them. You are never inactive. You are never not becoming something. Every thought permitted is a brick. Every emotion repeated is a blueprint. Every image you hold with feeling becomes form. This is not theory. This is law, and the law doesn't care if you know it exists. It will still build your future in its image. Understand this. The hours of sleep are the richest soil for mental planting. You have no resistance, no logic to block you, no environment to distract you, only suggestion, pure, raw suggestion. And that suggestion, if repeated with faith, will shape the iron of your character and the gold of your results. Most people use this time to rehearse disaster. They fall asleep thinking of their failures, their debts, their regrets. They imagine worst-case scenarios. They reanimate arguments. They allow television, gossip, worry, or fatigue to pour weeds into the garden of their mind. And they wonder why they wake up no stronger than they slept. But you will do the opposite. You will take command. You will not allow the night to drift by uncontrolled. You will use these sacred hours to instruct your subconscious with purpose. You will give it clear, repeated, definite orders, spoken with emotion, reinforced with belief, and repeated until they are carved into your very identity. The wisdom of masters. Henry Ford didn't dream of failure before bed. He visualized entire assembly systems running efficiently before they were even invented. He imagined cars produced so cheaply that every person could own one. And he became what he believed, not because he hoped, but because he repeated it so often that his mind couldn't conceive otherwise. Thomas Edison didn't fall asleep in fear. He often drifted into unconsciousness on his workbench, focused so intensely on solving problems that the solutions would arrive in the night. He gave orders before he slept, and those orders bore fruit. He believed success would come, and so it did, because he told his subconscious so. You will now begin to use the same law, and you will begin now, this very night. Not with hope, not with doubt, but with calm authority and spiritual certainty. Speak to your subconscious as a general addresses his troops, as a king addresses his people, as a master addresses his servant. Say to yourself, I am the type of person who directs his mind while I sleep. My future is forming. I feed my subconscious with faith, order, and belief. My rest is sacred. My rest is instruction. Let these words echo. Let them settle. Let them become the new rhythm of your internal voice. Don't speak them casually. Speak them with feeling. Speak them as if your future depends on it. Because it does. Your subconscious is a receiver. It doesn't argue, it doesn't resist. It accepts what is repeated with emotion. It hears belief, it hears faith, and it obeys with divine exactness. This is why your results are never an accident. They are always a reflection of your dominant inner speech. The world has trained you to think passively. It has taught you that circumstances shape your life. But I tell you now, the truth is the opposite. Circumstance is the effect. Thought is the cause. And the cause is always under your command once you know how to give the order. What you attract is not what you want. It is what you believe, what you repeat, what you emotionally hold in the theater of your mind when no one else is watching. And it is this internal process that must now become conscious, disciplined, and definite. Your nightly ritual practical steps. As you lie down tonight, I will instruct you to give yourself to this process with all your mental power. See your definite chief aim as already complete. Speak the attributes of your ideal self. Visualize the version of you who already commands wealth, health, order, confidence, and peace. Don't wait for it to feel real. Repeat until it becomes real. The person who waits for feeling before he acts is a drifter. The person who repeats truth until it becomes feeling is a master. You must master yourself before you can master results, and you must master thought before you can master self. Don't worry if it feels unfamiliar. All success is unfamiliar at first. You are building a new pattern. The old you was built through years of unconscious suggestion. You are now building the new you with deliberate thought, chosen affirmation, and repeated belief. Let no thought pass unchecked. Let no fear be rehearsed. Let no doubt be spoken. And if one arises, replace it immediately with truth. Say, that is not part of me. I no longer feed failure. I am becoming what I instruct. My subconscious obeys my word. The repetition of these truths is not a gimmick. It is law. Thought repeated becomes belief. Belief repeated becomes habit. Habit repeated becomes identity. And identity shapes every decision, every action, every result. This is not opinion. This is spiritual mechanics. You must not allow the world to choose your identity. You must not allow television, fear, or failure to become your instructors. From this moment forward, you choose, you lead, you build. Every night your subconscious is open. It is listening. What you tell it determines what it creates. Your wealth, your relationships, your opportunities, they are all shaped in this sacred silence. You are the sculptor. You are the architect. And the tool you must now wield is autosuggestion, spoken with faith, repeated with certainty, emotionalized with desire. Speak your future into being. As you fall into rest tonight, say aloud, I am the type of person who creates his future. I plant faith. I plant courage. I plant power. My subconscious is a servant of my will. Every night I grow stronger. Every night I become more definite. Let these words become the lullaby of greatness. Let them become the new rhythm of your thought. Let them echo long after the voice fades. Because while the voice may stop, your mind does not. The old world ends tonight. The new self begins now. Your mind is your garden, and tonight you must begin to treat it as sacred land. You must understand this fully. Whatever is planted in this garden, be it fear or faith, doubt or desire, clarity or confusion, will take root and it will grow. Your mind, like the soil of the earth, doesn't judge what is planted. It only brings forth what is sown. If you don't plant deliberately, weeds will take root by default. That's the nature of neglected land, and that's the nature of the unguarded mind. Confusion, fear, insecurity, hopelessness, these are the weeds that grow when the gardener is asleep, distracted, or indifferent. And the world, being full of noise and opinion, will sow these weeds freely into any mind left open and unattended. Most people don't realize their divine duty as mental gardeners. They go through life reacting to whatever the world throws at them. They listen to the fears of others, absorb the doubts of the news, dwell on past failures, and call it realism. But realism is often just the refusal to cultivate thought. It is the language of mental laziness, and it breeds mediocrity. You're not here to live like that. You're not here to let others decide the crop of your life. From this moment forward, you must take back the tools of the gardener, the trowel of conscious suggestion, the water of repetition, and the sunlight of faith. You must dig up every root of fear. You must pull out every vine of hesitation. You must till the soil of your subconscious until it is ready to receive only what you've chosen to grow. Cultivating your mental garden. Tonight, I ask you to walk through the garden of your mind. Close your eyes and see it. What is growing there? What images have you allowed to flourish? What beliefs have you tolerated that don't serve you? What stories have you repeated so many times that they now grow like unchallenged trees? Now, see yourself walking through that space with authority, with fire in your spirit. Begin to remove what doesn't belong. Uproot every phrase that starts with "I can't." Burn every belief that was planted by those who gave up on their own dreams. Tear out the shame, the hesitation, the excuses, and the false identities. You are not the person others told you to be. You are who you decide to be. Once the ground is cleared, you must begin to plant. You must sow thoughts of strength, clarity, power, discipline, faith, and purpose. You must plant the belief that you are becoming the person who acts, the person who follows through, the person who doesn't drift, doesn't doubt, and doesn't quit. You must plant these truths night after night until they grow so large they crowd out all lesser thought. And how do you plant? You plant by repetition. You plant by affirmation. You plant by feeling. Speak these words aloud tonight with calm force and unwavering belief. I choose what thoughts grow in my mind. I am the gardener of destiny. I am the type of person who plants only what strengthens me. Every night I cultivate the character I wish to become. These are not empty lines. These are seeds. And if you plant them now, if you return to them each night, they will grow. They will shape your language, your posture, your habits, your discipline, your boldness, your endurance, your success. But only if you repeat them. Only if you feed them. You must also water them. And the water of the mind is repetition with emotion. Dry affirmations do nothing. But when you speak a truth with belief, with vision, and with feeling, you charge that seed with life. The subconscious responds not just to words, but to emotionalized thought. Thought soaked in belief becomes law. So visualize now. See yourself walking through the rows of your mental garden. See healthy trees of courage rising. See vines of persistence crawling up the trellises of your thought. See flowers of faith blooming where fear once lived. This is your new world. This is your private territory. Guard it. Tend to it. Visit it nightly. Every night as you drift into sleep, remember, this is your sacred opportunity to program your subconscious mind with intention. As you release the noise of the day, gently repeat your affirmations, statements of faith, confidence, and purpose. Picture your goals vividly, feel the emotions of achievement, and trust that your mind is hard at work, weaving these new beliefs into the very fabric of your identity. With each repetition, you awaken stronger, clearer, and more aligned with your destiny. Guard your mind. Don't allow weeds to return. If you catch yourself replaying failure, remove it. If you hear the voice of criticism, silence it. If fear tries to return, declare out loud, "Fear has no root here. This soil is sacred. It grows only power. I am no longer the person who tolerates weakness. Every seed I plant is worthy of harvest." This is not poetic talk. This is law. What you plant, you will harvest. And the harvest will come not by chance, but by cause. Don't expect tomorrow to look different if tonight you plant the same thoughts that built yesterday. You must become disciplined in your mental gardening. Every night must be a ritual, not a vague wishing, but a deliberate act of mental cultivation. This is your greatest work, more important than any meeting, any strategy, any opportunity, because all opportunity is filtered through your identity, and identity is built in the silence of repeated thought. The person who masters this becomes unstoppable. They walk into rooms with calm power. They speak with certainty. They make decisions swiftly. They persist with endurance, not because they are lucky, but because they have tended their mind like a sacred field and it bears the fruit of order. You must not leave this to chance. Most people never take this seriously. They let the weeds grow. They say, "It's just a thought," not knowing that thought is the first cause of everything they will ever be. Don't be like them. Be the exception. Be the person who plants greatness and waters it daily. Now, repeat these words as you prepare for rest. I do not allow weeds to grow in my mind. I plant only what I intend to become. I am the type of person who prepares for greatness in silence. My harvest is inevitable because my planting is deliberate. You are not simply listening to a speech. You are reprogramming the very soil of your destiny. You are taking control of your most sacred asset, your own mind. And this power, once claimed, can never be taken, only neglected. So do not neglect it, not tonight, not ever again. Autosuggestion, your ultimate tool. All transformation begins with this tool, autosuggestion. You must understand this word not as a concept, but as a weapon. It is the bridge between who you are and who you intend to become. It is the only method by which you can issue instructions to your subconscious mind, and it is the single most powerful tool ever placed in the hands of humankind. No one rises above the suggestions they permit. No one ever created wealth, greatness, love, or certainty without first telling themselves that it was possible, and then repeating it until it became inevitable. Autosuggestion is not wishful thinking. It is not fantasy. It is not the blind repetition of empty phrases. Autosuggestion is self-command, issued with belief, repeated with persistence, backed by desire, and absorbed by the subconscious through emotion. You are always suggesting something to yourself. The only question is, are you choosing it, or are you letting the world do it for you? Most people walk through life under the control of other people's suggestions. Their teachers told them they would never be leaders. Their parents told them to play it safe. Their friends mocked their ambition. Society whispered, "Be realistic." And so, without realizing it, they accepted these ideas and made them their own. And what they accepted, they became. But you will not live by suggestion from the outside. You will live by instruction from within. You will speak words not of fear, but of faith, not of limitation, but of power. And you will repeat those words until your mind has no choice but to obey. Let me make this clear. Repetition is the key to mastery. Repetition is how the subconscious mind learns. It is how new beliefs are installed. It is how confidence is built. It is how desire becomes belief, and belief becomes action. And it is how you will rewire your very identity. Henry Ford wasn't the smartest man in the room. He wasn't the wealthiest man to start. But he was the most definite. He suggested to himself day and night that he could build a car affordable to every person, and he repeated that belief until it shaped his reality. When others said it couldn't be done, he said, "Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right." That wasn't just a saying. That was a philosophy rooted in autosuggestion. The same was true for Andrew Carnegie. He repeated to himself that he would dominate the steel industry, and he did. He told himself he would give away more money than any person who had ever lived, and he did that too. Before any act, before any result, there was belief. And before belief, there was repeated suggestion. You must now build the same habit, but not once a week, not only when you feel like it. You must do it every night with intention, until the very walls of your mind echo your command back to you in the morning. Command your mind. Here is your truth. If you don't give your mind instructions, it will obey the suggestions of fear, failure, and fatigue. If you don't speak belief into your soul, the world will whisper confusion into your spirit. If you don't affirm strength, your mind will default to weakness. You are the commander. You are the voice of authority. You are the master issuing orders to the most powerful assistant in existence, your own subconscious. And this assistant never questions. It accepts whatever is repeated with emotion, and it builds your results accordingly. Let us now make this practical. Each night as you lie down to rest, you must begin your autosuggestion ritual. Don't wait until you feel like it. That is the mistake of the average person. You speak the truth until you feel it. You repeat the words until they become real. You plant the belief until it grows deep enough to sustain itself. The subconscious mind accepts only that which is repeated persistently and emotionalized with belief. This means you must speak your affirmations with feeling. You must believe that what you say is already becoming true. You must speak not as a beggar hoping for change, but as a king declaring what shall be. Here is your nightly command. I am the type of person who reprograms himself nightly. I use repetition to build identity. I speak truth to my subconscious, and it obeys. My words create who I am becoming. I repeat what is powerful. I reject what is weak. These are your tools, and you will use them with discipline. What to suggest, your ideal self. Now let us go deeper. What should you be suggesting? What is worthy of your nightly repetition? Only this: the person you intend to become. Describe him clearly. Speak of his courage. Speak of his certainty. Speak of his wealth, his clarity, his discipline. Do not speak of what you want. Speak of who you are. Because if you suggest to your mind that you want something, it will believe you don't yet have it. Instead, declare, I am, I do, I act, I follow through, I persist, I lead, I build, I create. Speak in the language of identity, not desire. And repeat these declarations until your subconscious begins to form the corresponding habits, the matching attitudes, the aligned decisions. And it will, because that is its nature. Let us pause and make this more specific. Take your definite chief aim and reduce it to a single clear statement. Speak it out loud. Feel it. Visualize it. Repeat it. Say, I demand riches of life with definite purpose. I am building a fortune through clear action and persistent faith. I do not hope, I do not wait. I act with purpose and power. These are not dreams. These are commands. You are programming your system, and the system will respond. Every repetition plants a deeper seed. Every night waters the garden. Every phrase carved into your mind becomes a permanent groove, and that groove becomes character. Some will say this is too simple. Let them say it. They are the ones who complicate their failure while mocking the simplicity of success. Great men don't require complex formulas. They require clear commands repeated faithfully. That is the work. That is the way. Now let us address doubt. At first, your mind may resist. You may say the words and feel no change. That is to be expected. Your old identity has years of repetition behind it. You're not fighting an enemy. You're replacing an outdated pattern. And patterns yield to persistence. The subconscious yields to new orders, not once, but through habitual suggestion. So tonight you begin, and tomorrow night you continue. You will no longer drift. You will no longer permit random thoughts to lead you. You are the master of your mind, and you will act like it. You will speak truth. You will affirm power. You will build a new identity, brick by brick, line by line, word by word. Say aloud now. I do not leave my identity to chance. I build myself through repetition. Autosuggestion is my tool. I use it with discipline. Every word I speak plants a law within me. You are no longer a slave to old belief. You are no longer a mirror of the world around you. You are the origin of your new self. And this new self is born in the silence of sleep, through the voice of repetition, through the law of suggestion, through the faith of a definite person. Let us seal this with your nightly affirmation sequence. Speak these aloud now and carry them into your subconscious as you fall into rest. I am the architect of my mind. I suggest strength, clarity, and direction. I persist in belief until my identity is forged. I am becoming all I choose to become. I speak power. I speak discipline. I speak destiny. This is the law. This is the method. This is the medium of power. What you see in your mind with emotion, you become in your life with certainty. The power of visualization. This is not imagination. This is spiritual architecture. Your subconscious doesn't distinguish between real and vividly imagined. Whatever you visualize with belief, it accepts as fact and begins at once to translate into results. Visualization is not idle daydreaming. Visualization is instruction. It is rehearsal. It is blueprinting your inner world so the outer world must conform. Most people never understand this law. They hope, they wish, they vaguely want success, but they never sit down and see it. They never give their subconscious the image it needs to follow. And a mind without image becomes a life without direction. Tonight, you begin a new ritual, the nightly vision of your future self. This vision is not casual, it is not abstract. It must be clear, emotional, and repeated. You must begin to live mentally inside the image of the person you intend to become, until the subconscious, obedient and exact, builds him into reality. You become what you visualize nightly. You become what you repeat emotionally. You become what you instruct your mind to see again and again until no other image can survive. Let me explain why this works. The subconscious mind operates in pictures. When you speak affirmations, you are using words, but those words carry images, and those images carry emotion. And it is the emotion that penetrates deepest. If you visualize yourself succeeding but feel weak, the subconscious hears weakness. But if you visualize with certainty, if you feel what it is like to already be the person you choose to be, that feeling becomes law. The subconscious moves mountains to make it so. Every night before you sleep, you must build the vision. See yourself already living the life your definite chief aim requires. Where do you live? How do you speak? What kind of posture do you hold? What decisions do you make? How do others respond to your presence? This is not fiction, this is construction. You are forming the mold into which your mind will pour your future. Your invisible counsel. This practice is not new. I used it myself when I sought to form the principles of this very philosophy. I built an invisible council in my imagination. Men I admired, Abraham Lincoln, Napoleon Bonaparte, Ralph Waldo Emerson, Elbert Hubbard, and others. I imagined sitting with them nightly. I heard their voices. I watched them speak. I asked them questions. And over time, the qualities they embodied began to take root in me. That's not magic. That's visualization practiced with faith. And it works because the subconscious makes no distinction between real mentorship and imagined instruction, so long as the feeling is strong and the repetition is daily. You must now create your own invisible counsel. Choose 5 people whose attributes you admire. They may be historical, personal, or symbolic. Choose one for courage, one for clarity, one for vision, one for calm, one for wealth. Give them names. See them seated at your table. Imagine their faces. Hear their voices. And every night before rest, enter the chamber of your own mind and sit among them. Let them advise you. Let them affirm you. Let their strength become your standard. This practice will feel unusual at first. That is because you have never been taught to use your imagination as a tool of discipline. Most use it for worry, for fantasy, for regret. But the disciplined person uses imagination to program his future, and you must do the same. Now begin this exercise with me. Close your eyes. See the room. See the table. See your counsel seated with you. See yourself as you wish to be, strong, certain, decisive. Hear yourself speak. Hear the confidence in your tone. Hear your counsel nod in approval. Let the emotion rise. Let the vision become vivid. Let the image become unforgettable. This is the identity you are building. This is the future you are claiming. This is the image you will carry into your sleep and, in time, into your waking life. Let us now fix this vision with your spoken word. Repeat with feeling. I am the type of person who sees clearly before acting. I visualize success, and so I create it. My imagination is not fantasy, it is instruction. I build the image of my ideal life, and my mind obeys. What I see nightly, I become daily. Don't skip this step. The mind doesn't follow hope, it follows pattern. And pattern is built by repetition of image and word over and over until there is no room for the old self to remain. Your mind is a sacred garden, and every thought you plant shapes the landscape of your life. Instead of surrendering to the seeds of doubt sown by others or your own past, become the commander of your thoughts. Each night, speak your intentions with conviction. Declare who you are and who you will become. Visualize your future self clearly, calling on the wisdom of your invisible counsel. Through belief, repetition, and emotional intensity, you transform intention into reality. The enduring legacy of Napoleon Hill. Napoleon Hill stands as a monumental figure in the world of personal development and success philosophy, renowned globally for his groundbreaking work, Think and Grow Rich. His journey into understanding achievement began through an extraordinary opportunity presented by the industrial magnate Andrew Carnegie. Carnegie, impressed by Hill's journalistic ambition, challenged him to undertake a vast research project, to interview hundreds of the most successful individuals of their time and uncover the universal principles behind their accomplishments. Hill dedicated over 2 decades of his life to this monumental task, a testament to his unwavering commitment to identifying the true blueprints of success. Through his extensive research, Hill meticulously documented the habits, mindsets, and strategies that propelled ordinary people to extraordinary heights. His findings were not mere observations, but crystallized into a coherent philosophy, emphasizing the profound and often underestimated power of the human mind, particularly the subconscious. He articulated the concept that our thoughts, whether conscious or unconscious, are the primary architects of our reality, constantly shaping our destiny. At the core of Hill's teachings are several interconnected principles designed to guide individuals toward their desired outcomes. He passionately advocated for the establishment of a definite purpose, stressing that clarity of ambition is the essential starting point for any significant achievement. He elaborated on the crucial role of autosuggestion, explaining it as the process by which individuals impress their conscious thoughts upon their subconscious mind, thereby influencing their beliefs and actions. Hill also highlighted the importance of acquiring specialized knowledge relevant to one's goals and harnessing the creative power of imagination to envision and plan for success. Furthermore, he introduced the concept of the mastermind alliance, encouraging individuals to collaborate with others who share similar goals and ambitions, leveraging collective intelligence for mutual advancement. Hill firmly believed that true and lasting achievement stems from a disciplined mental approach, unwavering faith in one's abilities, and consistent, purposeful action directed towards a clearly defined objective. His philosophy suggested that success is not a matter of luck or chance, but a direct result of applying these universal laws of thought and action. Even decades after its initial publication, Think and Grow Rich continues to be a cornerstone text for entrepreneurs, leaders, and anyone aspiring to greater personal and professional fulfillment. His timeless wisdom has transformed countless lives, inspiring millions to transition from passive wishing to active creation, thereby cementing his enduring legacy as a pioneer and profound influencer in the field of achievement philosophy. Here's the summary of the key points, with a clear example or scenario for each. Transformation through repetition, not entertainment. This core idea establishes that personal growth and success are not passive experiences, but active, deliberate processes. You're not here to be entertained, but to be fundamentally changed from within. This transformation won't happen by chance or overnight. It demands consistent effort. The key mechanism is unwavering, daily and nightly repetition of your desired thoughts, beliefs, and commands. Just as water patiently carves stone, your new intentional thoughts will sculpt the person you're becoming. Every evening, you'll engage in a sacred ritual of listening, repeating, and planting these powerful mental seeds. This consistent practice will gradually shift your mind from a state of fear to one of clear authority. The goal is to shape your identity while you sleep, replacing doubt with faith and confusion with order. This is a disciplined journey to master your fate and achieve definite purpose. Imagine a person who's always struggled with public speaking. Instead of just hoping to be better, they dedicate time each night to visualizing themselves speaking confidently, hearing the applause, and feeling the calm. They repeat affirmations like, "I speak with clarity and confidence." Over time, this consistent mental rehearsal begins to manifest in real-world composure and improved delivery, transforming them from an anxious speaker to an authoritative one. The subconscious, your always active assistant. Your subconscious mind is continuously at work, even when you're physically at rest. It never sleeps or pauses. It diligently absorbs and executes instructions. Every person is constantly giving orders to their subconscious, whether consciously or not. These orders are conveyed through dominant thoughts, emotions, and repeated mental patterns. If you dwell on fear, doubt, or failure, your subconscious will manifest those patterns in your life. The hours you spend asleep are the most fertile ground for mental planting, free from external resistance or distractions. Pure, raw suggestion during this time can powerfully shape your character and future results. Unlike most who rehearse negativity, you'll consciously use these sacred hours to give clear, purposeful commands. These instructions, imbued with emotion and belief, will be deeply carved into your identity. This active instruction ensures your subconscious works for your deliberate progress, not against it. Think of someone who consistently worries about financial problems before bed. Their subconscious, ever active, absorbs these dominant thoughts of scarcity and stress. As a result, they may find themselves unconsciously making decisions or missing opportunities that perpetuate their financial struggles. Conversely, if they intentionally focus on abundance and financial solutions, their subconscious begins to guide them towards finding or creating those solutions, even in their dreams. Wisdom from masters, intentional mental direction. Successful historical figures like Henry Ford and Thomas Edison exemplify the power of directed thought. Ford consistently visualized efficient assembly lines and affordable cars, making them a reality through his belief. Edison often focused intensely on problems before sleep, knowing solutions would arrive from his subconscious's work. These masters didn't hope for success. They commanded it by repeatedly instructing their inner minds. You are now invited to apply the same fundamental law, starting tonight. Approach your subconscious with calm authority, like a general addressing troops or a king his people. Declare to yourself, "I am the type of person who directs his mind while I sleep." This consistent, feeling-infused declaration becomes the new rhythm of your internal voice. Your subconscious, a non-resistant receiver, precisely obeys what is repeated with emotion and belief. This demonstrates that results are never accidental, but always a reflection of your dominant inner programming. Consider a young entrepreneur who wants to disrupt an industry. Instead of just working long hours, they also spend time before sleep visualizing their product dominating the market, their team achieving breakthroughs, and hearing testimonials from satisfied customers. This isn't just a daydream, it's a deliberate command to their subconscious, much like Ford's vision of mass-produced cars, which then influences their waking actions and decisions, pushing them toward that envisioned reality. Your nightly ritual, practical steps for mental cultivation. This section outlines the concrete actions for your nightly mental programming. As you lie down, fully commit your mental power to seeing your ultimate goal as already achieved. Speak aloud the qualities of your ideal self, such as confidence, wealth, and peace. Don't wait for these visualizations to feel real. Persist in repeating them until they become real. This process builds new mental patterns, replacing years of unconscious, unhelpful suggestions. Actively police your thoughts. Immediately replace any fear, doubt, or "I can't" with truth. Affirmations like, "That is not part of me," or "My subconscious obeys my word" become powerful replacements. The consistent repetition of these truths isn't a mere trick, but a fundamental spiritual law. Thought repeated becomes belief, belief becomes habit, and habit ultimately shapes your entire identity. You are reclaiming control, leading your own internal architecture instead of letting the world define you. A student preparing for a challenging exam might feel overwhelmed by doubt. Their nightly ritual would involve visualizing themselves calmly and confidently answering questions, seeing their excellent score, and feeling the relief of success. If a thought like, "I'm not smart enough" creeps in, they immediately counter it with, "That is not part of me. My subconscious obeys my word. I am becoming knowledgeable and focused." They repeat this until the doubt subsides, training their mind to embrace a new pattern of academic confidence. Speak your future into being, the mind as a garden. The act of speaking your desired future into existence transforms words into a powerful force. Your nightly affirmations become a lullaby of greatness, setting a new rhythm for your thoughts. This ritual marks the end of your old self and the deliberate birth of your new one. Your mind is explicitly likened to a garden, a sacred space where whatever is planted will inevitably grow. This means fears, doubts, and confusion are weeds that will flourish if the garden is neglected. Most people fail to realize their role as mental gardeners, allowing external noise and opinions to sow negativity. They accept realism, which is often just mental laziness, leading to mediocrity. You are called to take back the gardener's tools: conscious suggestion, repetition, and faith. This involves actively removing every root of fear, hesitation, and false identity from your mental landscape. You must till the soil of your subconscious to ensure it receives only what you intentionally choose to cultivate. Imagine someone who wants to improve their relationships. If they constantly replay past arguments or anticipate conflict, planting weeds, their relationships will likely reflect that negativity. However, if they start speaking affirmations like, "I cultivate harmonious relationships," or "I communicate with clarity and empathy," they are actively planting new seeds. Over time, their subconscious will guide their actions and perceptions to foster more positive and constructive interactions, just as a garden yields the crop it's sown. Cultivating your mental garden, active weeding and planting. This section provides a deeper, more active instruction on managing your mental space. It encourages a mental walkthrough of your mind's garden to identify unwanted thoughts and beliefs. You are urged to see yourself authoritatively removing phrases like, "I can't," shame, excuses, and old identities. Once cleared, you must actively sow seeds of strength, clarity, power, discipline, faith, and purpose. These truths should be planted night after night through repetition, affirmation, and strong feeling. The process of planting is not just speaking words, but infusing them with emotion and belief. Visualize the healthy growth in your mental garden: trees of courage, vines of persistence, flowers of faith. This creates a new inner world, a private territory you must vigilantly guard and tend nightly. This consistent cultivation ensures that positive thoughts grow so robustly they crowd out any lesser ones. Your mental garden, once a place of default growth, becomes a carefully designed landscape of your destiny. A person struggling with procrastination might mentally walk through their garden and identify weeds like, "I'll do it later," "It's too hard," or "I'm not disciplined enough." They then vividly see themselves ripping out these thoughts and planting new seeds of decisive action, focus, and follow-through. They visualize themselves completing tasks with ease, feeling the satisfaction of achievement, until these new patterns become their default behavior. Guard your mind, continuous vigilance. Maintaining your cultivated mental garden requires constant vigilance to prevent weeds from returning. Any replay of failure, voice of criticism, or returning fear must be immediately removed. You are instructed to declare aloud that fear has no place in your mind, that the soil is sacred. This isn't just poetic language, it's a statement of a spiritual law. You harvest what you plant. Expecting a different tomorrow requires planting different thoughts tonight. Discipline in mental gardening is crucial. This mental work is paramount, more vital than any external opportunity, because identity filters all opportunities. Those who master this become unstoppable, exuding calm power and making swift, certain decisions. They persist not by luck, but because their mind, like a well-tended field, yields the fruit of order. Don't be like the majority who neglect this, dismissing thoughts as harmless. Thought is the ultimate cause. Make it a deliberate ritual every night, affirming that your planting is intentional and your harvest is inevitable. A professional who just experienced a setback at work might feel old fears of inadequacy resurface. Instead of dwelling on it, they immediately interrupt the thought, perhaps by saying aloud, "Fear has no root here. This soil is sacred. It grows only power." They refuse to replay the failure and instead affirm their competence and resilience, ensuring that their mental garden remains fertile for growth, not regression. Autosuggestion, your ultimate tool for transformation. Autosuggestion is presented not merely as a concept, but as a powerful weapon for self-transformation. It is the critical bridge connecting your current self to the person you aspire to become. This is the only effective method to issue direct instructions to your subconscious mind. It's recognized as the single most potent tool available to humankind for personal change. No one achieves greatness without first convincing themselves it's possible through repeated self-suggestion. Autosuggestion is distinct from wishful thinking. It's self-command, infused with belief, persistence, and desire. You are always suggesting something to yourself. The crucial question is whether you're choosing it or letting the world dictate. Most people are unconsciously controlled by external suggestions from their past, shaping their limitations. You are called to break free from external suggestions and live by internal instruction. Repetition is the undeniable key to mastery, rewiring your identity and turning desire into action. Consider a sales professional told for years they weren't good with people. This external suggestion became their reality. By consciously using autosuggestion, they can begin to repeatedly affirm, "I am a skilled communicator. I connect easily with others." This isn't just empty words. It's a command issued with belief. Over time, this consistent internal messaging reprograms their subconscious, leading to genuine improvements in their communication skills and sales performance. Command your mind. Practical application of autosuggestion. This section shifts to the practical application of commanding your mind. If you fail to give explicit instructions, your mind will default to fear, failure, and weakness. You are the ultimate commander, holding the voice of authority over your subconscious. This assistant never questions. It simply accepts what is repeated with emotion and delivers results accordingly. Your nightly autosuggestion ritual should be non-negotiable, not dependent on how you feel. You speak the truth until the feeling aligns, repeating words until they become ingrained reality. The subconscious only accepts what is persistently repeated and emotionally charged with belief. Therefore, speak your affirmations with profound feeling and an unwavering belief that they are already becoming true. You are to speak not from a position of begging, but as a king declaring what shall be. The nightly command, "I use repetition to build identity. My words create who I am becoming," becomes your disciplined tool. A person struggling to start a new fitness routine might feel unmotivated. Instead of waiting for motivation, they implement a nightly command. "I am the type of person who is disciplined in my health. I wake up energized and eager to move my body." They repeat this with a powerful feeling, even if they don't feel it yet. This consistent command eventually reprograms their internal state, making morning workouts feel natural and even desirable. What to suggest? Focusing on your ideal self. The focus of your autosuggestions should be exclusively on the person you intend to become. Describe this ideal self vividly: their courage, certainty, wealth, clarity, and discipline. Crucially, speak in the language of identity: "I am," "I do," rather than desire, "I want." Declaring "I am" signals to your subconscious that this state already exists within you. Repeating these identity-based declarations will naturally form corresponding habits, attitudes, and decisions. Take your definite chief aim and condense it into a clear single statement you can speak, feel, and visualize. These are not mere dreams, but powerful commands, actively programming your internal system. Each repetition deeply plants a seed, watering your mental garden and carving permanent grooves in your character. This simple yet profound method is the work and the way to greatness, often dismissed by those who complicate their own failure. It's about consistent, faithful commands that lead to profound and lasting transformation. If your definite chief aim is to become a successful author, instead of saying, "I want to write a bestseller," you would declare, "I am a prolific and impactful author. I write with clarity, purpose, and engage a global audience." You visualize yourself writing daily, seeing your book on shelves, and feeling the satisfaction of sharing your work. This consistent identity-based command programs your subconscious to align your habits and actions with becoming that author. As these timeless words gently fade, remember, your mind is always at work. You've now given it powerful, intentional commands. This isn't just about tonight. It's about every night. Make this a ritual. Return to these principles, let them sink deeper, and watch as your inner world reshapes your outer reality. If you found value in this session, please hit the like button and subscribe to Sleep Smarter Tonight for more transformative experiences. Share this with anyone ready to unlock their subconscious power. Until next time, sleep deeply, command wisely, and awaken to your definite purpose.